Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I'm talking about watches. Well, today I'm going to share with you my full in-depth review of one of the most fun watches that I have owned. It is fun because of the colour, it is fun because of the dial design, and it has been an easy watch to wear as well because it is a titanium watch. This one here is the Mysterious Code Titanium Pilot. It is a relatively affordable watch, and it is just a nice, easy watch to wear. Being made of titanium, it is light. Having those fun colours on the dial and the strap make it a fun, easy watch to wear. And it's been one that I have actually enjoyed in my collection. Now guys, if you are interested in this watch after this full in-depth review, I will of course leave an affiliate link down below in the description. Thank you so much if you choose to use that. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I really would appreciate if you just click on that subscribe button. But let's flip the camera around now and let's check out this titanium pilot in these lovely fun colors. Let's flip around and check it out. So here we have my titanium pilot by Mysterious Code. I don't think it actually has a particular serial number, but it comes in quite a nice sort of box. It's a little bit of an odd box, but it certainly holds the watch nicely. We do have a warranty card, which is actually filled out, at least with the date there, which is quite cool. Little booklet that's all in Chinese, so I won't be reading any of that. But inside here, we've got a titanium pilot watch with a 24-hour subdial that on the Aliexpress store cost 150 Australian dollars. And what are we getting for that 150 Australian dollars? Well, we're getting a pilot sort of inspired watch with fun colours, obviously as well. Lots and lots of lume, titanium case, which is finished very well. A very cool Caseback, and it comes in quite a good size. It does have a relatively long lug to lug for this sort of size of watch. However, as you'll see later, it does fit nicely on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. But what about the rest of the dimensions? We are looking at a 40mm case diameter. The width of the watch is 12.8 millimeters, and as I mentioned, it's a little bit long here at 49.8 millimeters, and for a 40 millimeter case diameter, that does feel a little bit big. However, it's still perfectly fine. 20 millimeter lug width, and on this supplied strap, and being titanium, so what you expect is it to be rather light, and it is only 62 grams. But we are really buying this watch, I think, not so much for the titanium, not so much for the lightweight, albeit you may like that. I think you are buying this one because you want that dial, and I think this is exactly why I bought it. It would not have bothered me if this was a stainless steel. That's not an issue at all. I wanted this dial, and let's check it out. Everything on there is printed on this dial. There's either full bits of lume, like that outer ring there is actually full lume. The numbers are lumed. We got printed on here, Mysterious Code. This is a 24-hour subdial at the 9 o'clock, which in reality is not very useful for me. However, I do like that it just adds a little feature to the dial of the watch there, and I like how they've added the blue on those hands and on the counterbalance of the second hand, and that kind of links in a bit with the blue that they've used on that 24-hour dial. And if you look closely, you'll see that that's also blue, the little indicator on that 24-hour dial. Those hands are nice sort of sword shaped hands. They're nice and long. I love long hands. Check out, it's a little bit harder to see because of the color match, but it's the second hand sticks out right into that sort of outer track there. As you can see, we have 12, 1, 2, 3, etc. around the outside. We do have an hour track as well and a minute track. So it's nice and easy and very legible, this watch. Have a look at that sort of lume on those hands versus that orange background. Absolutely easy to read. Now, I am going to show the Lume Shot now because I think it is a standout feature of this watch. Check this out. And wow, it certainly does not disappoint. It looks fabulous. I really like it. It's so cool. But does it last all the way through the night? Well, no. This is an affordable watch. It's not fantastic longer term, but I'm perfectly okay with it. I think it looks fantastic to begin with, and it lasts long enough. Now, this whole dial is covered by a piece of double-domed sapphire crystal, which when we're looking at $150 for an interesting looking watch, cool looking watch, titanium double-domed sapphire crystal, I think we're looking at a pretty sort of well-priced watch here. The titanium is all brushed, and it's a reasonable brushing. I know titanium is a little bit of a harder surface to work on, and oh, let's have a look at this. Look, check that out. Now, this is not the watch's fault. I was outside doing some B-roll footage to put into this video, and I dropped the watch. Yeah, It's the first time I've ever dropped a watch, and I felt so bad because this is a fun watch. It hasn't caused too much damage, but yeah, I may have said a few words that I would not say on camera. Let's check out the crown there. It is signed with the M. There's a bit of my fingerprints going on there. That's not weird smudging on the titanium. That's me doing that to the watch. 20mm lug width, so it sort of really does suit this sort of size of watch. The back there, great looking case back. I love a good looking case back, and I know this is relatively simple. Then again, my smudgy fingerprints. I know it is relatively simple, but if you're going to have a simple solid case back, do something like this because I think it looks cool. It says mysterious code, titanium, 5 atmospheres, water resistant. There we go. And there's some numbers there. So we're looking at 50 meters of water resistance. We do have a screw down crown. It is screwed down. Inside here we have the Miyota 8217, which I think is a sort of modified other 8 series, but has obviously the 24-hour subdial. Does have hand winding. It does have a ghost position and you can feel it clicking away, but surprisingly, and it did surprise me, it has hacking. So that's fantastic. So let's see how this Miyota is performing on my time grapher. Well, I have to admit, I'm not completely surprised by the bad beat error there. Beat error often does go out when a watch does get a significant knock, and this certainly got a significant knock. It landed on the concrete all the way from up here, all the way down there onto the concrete. So it's at 2.3, and that's not really what you want. You really want it under number 1, realistically. But other than that, it is at 21,600 vibrations per hour. Amplitude is actually really good, and sitting sort of minus 10 seconds, minus 5 seconds, which is perfectly okay. Realistically, even though I don't particularly like that number from a beat error perspective, from a day-to-day wearing it, it's really not going to make too much of a difference from this watch. And what about this strap? Because it certainly is a feature of this watch, but is it any good? And I'm going to say it's okay. It's not the worst one I've seen. It's certainly not the best one I've seen. It doesn't really feel like leather, but it actually seems to feel okay. I have been wearing it on this strap because it definitely suits it and it's comfortable and it's light, but it's probably not the best quality material. You can see they are sort of simulating the pilot style sort of strap there, which I think is very cool. I like that they've done that little feature of it. Bit of stitching across here, which is nice, and the color of the stitching certainly then matches in with the dial as well, the orange and white and orange there. That does look cool. Black underneath. There's nothing written underneath. I do have to say though, the hardware is very good. It says mysterious code that's really deeply etched into there. Nice little chamfer there. Not sure if this is titanium or not. Kind of looks like it is, so it actually might be, which would be a little bit surprising, quite interesting. And how does it look on wrist? Well, I think it looks actually really quite good. That lug to lug is quite long, so it is filling up most of my 6 3/4 inch wrist. I wouldn't really recommend it for much smaller wrists than mine, just purely because of that. However, it's nice and light, nice and comfortable, sits down on wrist nicely. Yeah, very cool. And I do like the color of the strap. I think it gives it a real sort of something different to the rest of my watches in my collection. Most of my watches are fairly sort of standard, sort of traditional style watches, I guess. So this one, when you open up my watch box, it sort of stands out, and I think that's kind of cool, especially at an affordable sort of range. So what do I like about this watch? What don't I like about this watch, and what would I change? Well, I am going to say there's actually a lot to like about this one, because not only is it a fun watch to wear, but I think it's a really good looking watch too. It has a really cool, interesting looking dial, very different to other things I have in my collection. I do like the little touch of the 24-hour dial. There are some other options if you don't particularly like that. You can get ones without that, but I kind of like it. I think it's a bit of a feature. I do like having blue on the hands. Yes, it's not blued, but I still think it looks great. Nice and light. Fun, and I do like that case back. What don't I like about it? Well, I have to say there's actually very little to dislike about it, but there's probably a couple of things that I would change. Obviously, the lug to lug is just a little bit too long. It's a little bit of a shame. It's perfectly fine for me. It hasn't really stopped me liking this watch, but I think it would be a little bit better if they reduced that slightly. The strap is fine, but certainly I don't think it's going to last forever. You can see I've been wearing it and it's already got little gouges out of it. So nothing too worrying there, nothing too concerning there. But if I was going to put this onto a new strap, I'd have to get something orange, so I'd have to buy a strap for this one. It's not just grabbing one out of my collection. So overall, really quite good and really quite impressive. First time I've had a mysterious code in my collection and I'm enjoying it. I understand not everybody's going to like this name. For some reason, I actually don't mind this one. I think I like it better than some of the others that I've had off Aliexpress. But let's flip the camera around now and let's check out what I think of as my final thoughts. Now, what do you guys think about that Lume? Wasn't that really cool? On an affordable watch from AliExpress, I think it is one of the best and funnest looms I have seen. Yes, okay, it doesn't last forever, but it certainly does look good and it certainly puts a smile on my face. It also is a fun, interesting dial. It is also nice and light on wrist, especially because it's titanium and it's affordable. So what else can you ask for a watch from AliExpress? Or perhaps you could ask for not having a name of mysterious code, but I have to say, because it's a fun overall watch, that doesn't bother me at all. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate taking the time out of your day to watch the review of this mysterious code. I do hope to see you in the next video.